Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we'll be looking at a variety of stories. First, we'll be looking at Red Bull Gas rider Jorge Prado's issues, if you want to call it that, in Moto 1 at the MXGP of Czechia. Then we'll look at what Jett Lawrence had to say regarding his teammate Chase Sexton's speed and talent in Spring Creek. We'll then look at a recently announced temporary addition to the 450 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross lineup with Ware Racing's Colt Nichols entering the ring. Finally, we'll look at Monster Energy Yamaha rider Thibault Benistant and his injury report from this weekend. Before we get into all that, we have today's special guest, the Austrian privateer KTM rider, Marcel Staufer. Before I get into the interview, head to the MXNetwork.com or click the link in the description to grab one of my magazines. You guys ordered a lot yesterday, so thank you so much. I did a full restock on the site last week, and there is now a site-wide sale. All editions are only $2.99, so if you want to support my work directly, go snag a couple magazines. Thanks to all of you who already have. It means the world to me. All right, let's call up today's special guest. All right, today's special guest is a privateer KTM rider from Austria, Marcel. How are you doing, man? I'm glad to have you on. Your name has been coming up quite frequently in the past few weeks, considering you've become a top 10 MX2 racer. I mean, that's pretty insane. For any of my viewers who don't know who you are, could you introduce yourself?
Thanks for having me here. I'm doing good. Just came back from Lockett. And the last two GPs I did, I performed pretty well from my side. I was surprised that it went so well. I finished 8th and 9th overall in Deutschendal and Lockett, and yeah, I did only 3 GPs this year, so Akku was my first one. Where I finished 14th in the first heat, and in the second one I had a start crash, which led me to a DNF. But overall, I'm really happy with my World Championship races I did this year.
All right, so you're actually a factory KTM test rider as well, correct?
Yes, since this year I'm testing for the KTM factory team as well.
Well,
I test since with KTM I test bikes since 3 years, 3.5, something like this.
So what made you want to step in and do a few MXGPs this year if you're doing factory KTM testing?
Last year I did like the full season, or like I started with European Championship, and then after I think it was 3 races I did in the European Championship, then I stepped up to MX2 class, World Championship, and yeah, I did all the Europe Grand Prix, and yeah, after Finland, I got injured in Finland. After Finland, the season was over for me. So I got the opportunity to work as a test rider for KTM Factory Racing, and yeah, still for KTM development as well. And I decided to do the full Austrian Championship this year, and got the opportunity to do some GPs as well.
Yeah, and I see you're killing it in the Austrian National Championship. How's that going, and why did you want to race both at the same time? That seems kind of like a lot of work, man.
Yeah, I started with the plan to do the full European Championship again. I had already a team and everything for this year, but then they changed the age limit, so I had to have a plan B. And the plan B was then to ride Austrian Championship in some certain chosen GPs, and I want to put myself a challenge on in the Austrian Championship, because I won MX2 class 3 times already. So this year I said I want to try both classes and try to win both classes. I ride the MX2 class with 250 and MX Open with 450, so I switch bikes as well.
Holy cow.
Between races.
That's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, I definitely I have a benefit because of the test riding, because there we also switch bikes during the day sometimes, and yeah, I'm used to it to adapt quickly. Yeah, this helps me a lot, but yeah, that it is so good and goes that well like it does at the moment. I'm still surprised about this.
So you mentioned back in Arco, the MXGP of Trentino, you finished 18th overall. You had a DNF that day. Otherwise, other than the DNF, how was that day, your first race on that bike this year in the championship? How was that day?
Honestly, quite good. I started in practice with P6, I think, which I was pretty happy with. I saw the speed is there, and also in quali, I had not the perfect lap. I finished 12th, but I was happy about this. In the quali race, I crashed 2 times, made my life a little harder, but I finished in 13th, which gave me a good gate pick for the races on Sunday.
Yeah. So
and
you mentioned that you're only doing the 3 GP races that you've already done. You're not doing any more for the year?
I'm thinking about it, but yeah, still a thing of like budget, having everything ready for the race, what is the test plan, and more points where I need to decide if I go racing again or if not. And yeah, I will decide just a week, 2 weeks before, something like this, to if I go or not.
Have you opened any eyes to other teams or anything, or getting a ride? Because, I mean, top 10, 8th and 9th place your last 2 races. I mean, you don't have a full ride. That's insane to me. I can't believe you got to do privateer stuff, and that's just insane to me.
I have certain teams which reached out to me, but at the moment during the season, I don't believe that I will switch, because I'm happy with my material. I'm happy with my setup I have at the moment, and I won't switch, I think, this season. But for next year, I'm for sure interested in all the offers, and maybe there is one which really suits me. So maybe I get the opportunity to ride the full world championship, which would be the plan from my side for next year.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I mean, seriously, you're killing it. Your name's been mentioned multiple times over the past couple weeks. I mean, some teams got to pick you up, man. You can't just sit here and do a couple of races out of the year like that and tease us. So you're doing really good in the Austrian Championship, and you said you're not doing MXGP, or you might do another GP this year. What would be your goal for the remainder of the 2023 season?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it, because yeah, I did these 3 GP, but the plan was to do the 3 GPs, like Arco, Deutschendal, and Locket. But it was more the plan to try and show what I can, and not really like a certain goal I focused on. So I was going to the GPs and was like trying to have as much fun as possible, and to show my speed and show what I can do on a bike. So I honestly haven't thought about next season and what the plan would be. I think it also depends if I have the opportunity to ride the full season or just the Europe GPs, because otherwise I cannot really decide a goal for me, what I want to finish in the championship, or what my goal is for the certain races, something like. It's hard then if I don't know the plan for next year.
Yeah, that's understandable. Well, I think you're you're opening eyes for sure with how fast you've been, but hopefully we can see you on the line in MXGP next year, man. We can't lose you like this. Top 10 guy, come on. You got to get a good ride for next year. But yeah, thanks for coming on today, brother. I hope to have you on again in the future, and hopefully you're on an MX2 team and possibly getting podiums next year, man. But yeah, hopefully we can get you on the gates next year.
For sure, this would be really nice to get at least one time on this box. I really worked for it, also for the European Championship. I wanted to be up there, and in Portugal I had the opportunity to, and missed it by 2 points. This was like a real bummer, but yeah, I hope maybe I can get the opportunity to do it in MX2 World Championship, and we will see what next year brings.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening, man. Well, thanks for coming on today, and good luck to the rest of your year, and hopefully you figure stuff out, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Huge thanks to Marcel Staufer for coming on today. Today's Moto News is brought to you by Sweet Life CBD. Sweet Life has some of the best CBD gummies, oils, and topicals. So if you're in pain, which all motocross riders are, this is the best and most natural way to heal up. Head to GetSweetLife.com or click the link in the description and use my code TMN to get 20% off your order. Our first story of the day is an interesting one and a new one for sure. Over the weekend in the MXGP of Czechia, I wasn't watching it live, but I did keep up with a couple of tweets that were coming out as the race was going, and I saw somebody say that Jorge Prado had crapped his pants. Now, I didn't even think about it. I didn't think twice about it. I thought maybe he got into a battle, maybe he hit a jump, lost it, almost fell or something, you know. Come to find out in post-race interviews, he legitimately soiled himself in Moto 1 of the GP. So, after looking into it, from what I understand, Jorge came into the race weekend a little ill from Indonesia, and he said he had small stomach problems. Well, coming into Moto 1, he got onto the gate, and I guess he told his mechanic that his stomach was hurting, but once you're on the gate, you can't get off, so he was into Moto 1. I guess during a heated battle with Romain Febvre and Jeremy Seewer, Prado claimed he began feeling his stomach hurt pretty bad, like he's going to lose it, and a few laps into the battle, Jorge just said, "I'm not comfortable," and he didn't want to throw away any more positions, so he just let it go. Let's hear from the man himself in an interview with Lewis Phillips over the weekend.
Very good on track, to be honest, but somehow I managed to get a good start, and I've been, I was pushing hard and got it done in the quali race. Today I woke up and I was feeling all right, but somehow just before the first moto I started feeling very bad with my stomach, and I struggled a lot in the first moto. At some point how can I say, I shit my pants on the bike, and it was...
You actually? Or you nearly did?
No, I really did. Go smell my seat still.
I'll tell you, I trust you, I trust you.
So, yeah. So I was just... When I was going with my mechanic to the gate, and I just told him, man, I think I'm starting to feel bad with my stomach, and I really need to go to the toilet, but there's no way back. You know, once you put that rear tire on the net, it's no way back, and... You know, I had a okay start. I was behind Romain. I felt like I could go much faster, but I was just not really racing. I was just waiting to go to the bathroom, kind of. And I just, couldn't hold it anymore. And when Seewer passed me, I decided, to let it out. And I mean, it's a super shit feeling, but I mean, it's racing, and I didn't want to stop in the pits or whatever, so I kept going, and I finished third, which was, I think, quite good. But to be honest, I was feeling better on track in the first moto. It had some extra grip.
So yeah, that's a new one for sure, or at least for me. I've never heard anything like that, but I truly feel bad for the guy. This isn't something you want to have in the news, but he was open about it. He did the interview and told everyone about it, so... But yeah, I would have pulled off the track, but I guess when you're winning the MXGP Motocross World Championship in the Premier Class, you don't give up points too easily. You'll fight any way you can, but yeah, that's all I got for this story. The only thing Prado said further on this topic is that he is getting better health-wise, and he thinks he'll be back to normal before next weekend's MXGP of Lommel. I wish him the best. Hopefully, Jorge's feeling better by next weekend. On to our second story of the day. Jett Lawrence gave comment on his teammate Chase Sexton's speed at the Spring Creek National. Now, this is truly a rare story in my book because the Lawrence brothers will not talk to any media except podium and press conference. Other than that, they have been open about their disliking of the media. So with that being said, to squeeze any information out of these two is nearly impossible. But today, we did get a quote straight from Jett Lawrence. As you all know, Jett remains undefeated, but got a run for his money at Spring Creek. I think had Sexton not gone down 3 or 4 times throughout the day, he would have beaten Jett for the first time all year. Chase Sexton finally seems back to speed, and he showed that in Millville. Well, yesterday Jett was asked what happened to his dominance and how Sexton was able to catch up to him like that. It's really the first time somebody's done that to him, so we figured he'd say he wasn't feeling right or the bike was off or something, but he was honest. Lawrence said, quote, "Track was quite a bit different from previous years. I felt like it favored Chase's technique, that muscle, bulldog kind of style, whereas I kind of have to time mine." So yeah, that's really the first time Jett has been pushed, and I'm glad he acknowledged that and kind of gave props to Sexton's style for that track, which was cool. Now, I think Washougal's going to be a different story this weekend. Sexton has been very good there over the years, and Jett has been not so good there over the years. So maybe this will be the battle we're really looking for, and hopefully Sexton can keep it on 2 wheels. But yeah, many people are predicting that Sexton's the favorite coming into the weekend. Maybe this is the first time Jett loses, but only time will tell. All right, our next story is regarding Monster Energy MX2 rider Thibault Benistant. The French native has been really fast this year and has shown to be a podium contender week after week. And this weekend's MXGP of Czechia, things took a turn for the worse. In the MX2 qualifying race, Benistant was involved in a nasty first turn pile-up and ended up being carted off and sent to the hospital. Now, if you haven't seen this crash, here's the clip.
Over on the left somewhere, probably. Yeah, oh, big crash. He got tagged, and then, watch here. He gets tagged here, hits the rear wheel, and then goes down and gets hit by Gifting, and then just about everybody else. Wow. Guerra was in there as well, but right at the bottom.
That's a rough one to watch. He really hit the ground hard. On Saturday, the qualifying day, they didn't give any updates on his health, and I guess he tried to race Sunday for the actual race, but the FIM wouldn't allow him to do so due to his condition. Well, today, Benistant finally gave an update on his health. His update read, quote, "Not the weekend I expected, but things happen. I'm feeling a bit better, but I'm still really beat up. I've got blood in my lungs and a massive hit to the head. That's why the FIM hasn't allowed me to ride on Sunday." It sucks to hear that, but I'm glad it wasn't any worse. It could have been. So, hopefully this guy gets back on the gate soon. Gonna miss watching him battle in that top group of guys. He's wicked fast and talented this year, so. Anyways, get well soon to Thibault Benistant. We're gonna miss you at the races, man. All right, our final story of the day is that Ware Racing's Colt Nichols announced he will be lining up in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross this weekend. Ever since his stint with Honda HRC ended, he has signed with Ware Racing for World Supercross and has been focusing on that. Now that there's a break in the series and he has some time off, he has time to burn, so I'm sure he saw his teammate Shane McElrath this weekend go racing and he was kind of jealous, so he had to join in as well. But yeah, last week Nichols said in a post, quote, "Been riding some outdoors and it's been fun. Been a while since I've been on the 30-minute moto grind, trying to piece some stuff together, and who knows, maybe hit a race here soon." Well, it seems he may have figured it out because last night he announced that he will be racing Washougal. His announcement read, "Boogity, boogity, boogity, boys, let's go racing." Got some people stepping up to help the program along, and some merch on the way. I'm glad to see more guys lining up. I think Nichols will do relatively well. I mean, considering his teammate came in on a stock Yamaha and managed to run around top 10 with stock everything. So imagine what you could have done with a proper training and an actual bike setup. But yeah, anyways, glad to see Nichols lining up again here in the U.S. Hopefully he performs well. Well, that's all I got for today's news video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy my content, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and follow if you're on Spotify. If you want to support me directly, head to the mxnetwork.com and snag a magazine. If you want to get rid of those aches and pains, head to getsweetlife.com and use code TMN for 20% off your order. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.